With the cost of living having sharply risen recently, you might be wondering if you have enough in your pension pot to retire. In this video, we will be covering just that. Hello, my name's Rachel and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'll be covering exactly how much you need in your pension pot if you want to comfortably retire today. And if you do feel that there is a shortfall in your pension, at the end of this video, I'll be covering 3 ways which you can increase your pension pot to make sure that you do have enough to cover you for retirement. So we all know that the cost of living has increased dramatically over the last few years, and with that the amount of money that you will need to retire has also increased. So the latest research from the Pensions and Lifetime Saving Association say that the cost of a comfortable retirement for a single retiree has risen by over 33% since 2019. So in this video I'll be giving you the figures that you need to understand how much you would need to retire, either at a minimum level which would cover all of your basic expenses and maybe a few nice days out, and a moderate retirement level which would cover your basic needs and also 1 foreign holiday a year, and at a comfortable level which would include 1 foreign holiday and maybe a few weekends away in the UK. So the figures I'm going to share with you have come from Vanguard, and I will pop a link down below in case you want to check out this information in a little bit more detail. So this table shows you just how much a 66-year-old would need if they were planning to retire today, and this would take them all the way up to the age of 100. Now obviously not everyone is going to live until they're 100, but it's really important not to underestimate how long you're going to live, because you certainly don't want to be running out of money. Just in case you're interested though, the average life expectancy for a man is 85 and the average life expectancy for a woman is 87. Now these calculations assume that each individual will qualify for the state pension. Now you can check whether you are going to get the full state pension, which is currently £11,500. You can check this if you simply go on the government website, and all of the information is available for you there. So if you're going to use these figures, then please do check that you are going to be getting the full state pension. Please do remember that income from pensions is taxed at your normal rate of income tax. So the figures that I'm going to show you are the amount you'd need to fund each retirement living standard after tax has been deducted. So let's get stuck into these figures. Let's start first of all as if you are a single retiree. So the minimum that you would need per year after tax is £14,400. So the required pension savings in addition to your state pension are £52,522. Now that money could be held in, say, a workplace pension or a self-invested personal pension. If you are looking to open up a self-invested personal pension, I actually have a video here where I compare different self-invested personal pension providers in case you are interested. For a moderate retirement, the cost per year after tax is £31,300, which means that you would need a whopping £488,688. Now it's important to note that these calculations assume that the state pension rises by 2.5% a year and that your required spend increases by 2% a year to account for inflation. Also, the average annual investment growth that has been applied to these figures is 5%, and that is 5% after your investing costs. Okay, and finally, to have a very comfortable retirement as a single person, you are going to be looking at £43,100 a year, and that is the cost per year after tax, and your required pension savings in addition to state pension for that are £804,194. Okay, so let's have a look now at the cost for couples. So the cost per year after tax for a couple to retire at a minimum level, which means that you're having some nice days out and covering your basic costs, is £22,400. Now the amount that you would require in your own private pension to do that is actually zero, because the £11,500 that you are both getting for your state pension would cover all of those costs. To have a moderate retirement, you'd be looking at £43,100, which means that you have required pension savings of £442,230. And finally, to have a really comfortable retirement as a couple, you'd be looking at a cost per year of £59,000. That would mean that you have a required pension savings amount of £884,522 £460, which sounds like an awful lot of money. So if you're looking to retire in 20 years' time, you have to take into account inflation, and that pension pot will only rise more. So you're probably looking at a figure of well over £1 million to comfortably retire in the future. Now, obviously, it's really important to take your own individual circumstances into consideration. Perhaps you don't want to go abroad on holiday every year, or perhaps the region that you live in the UK is particularly expensive and you need to take that into consideration. Also, it's important to consider whether you might want to be funding your children into the future, or whether you have taken a very long mortgage term and you will still have money left on your mortgage when you come into retirement. Okay, perhaps you've seen these figures and you think, I have got a whopping shortfall in my pension pot, what can I do? So in this part of the video, I'm going to give you 3 things that you could do to increase the size of your pension pot. Okay, so the very first one is to take an interest in what your pension is invested in. So potentially you have a workplace pension, and that is something that you pay into on a monthly basis through your workplace, and you don't really look at it beyond that. It's important to mention that you often can and should have a look at what this pension is being invested into. Often it is being invested into a default investment that might not suit your needs. You could potentially look at having a more aggressive investing approach if you're a long way away from retirement. So perhaps speak to your workplace pension provider and see if you can make some changes to the investments that you are invested in if you feel comfortable doing that, or speak to a financial advisor about doing this, because what you are invested in could make a huge difference to the returns that you're going to see over time. So taking a real interest into what you're invested in to increase your returns over time could be a really, really important step in increasing your pension pot, particularly because obviously those returns do compound over time. This is something I have personally done. I have also opened up a self-invested personal pension, which has collected all of my old workplace pensions together, and then I choose the investments that I want to have in that self-invested personal pension. So as I am pretty far away from retirement at the moment, I have chosen to have some more aggressive, higher risk investments within my self-invested personal pension, with the idea that I have time to ride out those peaks and troughs over time and potentially see higher returns because of those higher risk levels. Obviously, past returns are not always indicative of future returns, and your capital is always at risk, and it's so important to take your pension seriously. So if you don't feel confident making your own investing decisions, then please do speak to a financial advisor or someone who has the right qualifications to help you with your own personal investing goals. But essentially what I'm saying here is that it's important to look at where your pension is being invested and not just stick with the default, because it might not be the right one for you. And even if you are investing in a workplace pension, you should still be able to have some control over the investments that are being made on your behalf. Okay, so the next thing that could really increase your pension pot over time is actually lowering the costs of investing in your pension. So perhaps you've got some old workplace pensions that you could bring together in a self-invested personal pension that would have lower fees than what you're currently paying in those old workplace pensions. It would also give you a really good picture of what you have as a retirement pot, because you would have brought all of those different figures together. If you want more information on a self-invested personal pension, then I will link this video here for you. Now, please do remember though that it's not always in your interest to transfer out of a pension, particularly if you have something like a defined benefit pension or any other guarantees. If in doubt, it's best to seek financial advice. And the third and final thing that you can do to increase your pension pot is obviously just to put some more money into it. But obviously, for every £80 that you contribute to your pension, you'll be getting a top up of £20 from the government. Also, it's important to note if you're a higher rate or additional rate taxpayer, you can claim back an additional £20 or £25 respectively via your self-assessment tax return. Tax relief can obviously really help you to boost your pension pot. So I hope you found this video interesting. It certainly helped me when I'm thinking about pension planning and how much I want to have set aside for my retirement. Do let me know if you have any questions in the comments down below. And thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you have found it useful, then please do subscribe. And if you fancy giving this video a like, that would mean the world to me. Thanks very much. Bye bye.